Hey, everyone, guess what? Version 1.1 just dropped. We finally have Changli's full kit revealed. In this video, we'll break down everything you need to know about her abilities, the best weapons, Echo Team compositions, and more. Let's dive in. To start, let's look at Changli's resonance skill, which is probably the best place to begin explaining her abilities. Her skill makes her dash forward, performing a plunging attack that deals fusion damage. Interestingly, this can be cast in the air as well. She can hold up to 2 charges and recovers 1 charge every 12 seconds. After using her ability, she also gains True Sight. Now, what is True Sight? You can tell she's in True Sight because her hair starts glowing like this. True Sight empowers her next basic attack, jump, or mid-air attack. If she uses a basic attack on the ground, she casts True Sight Conquest, dashing toward the enemy and dealing fusion damage. This is considered resonance skill damage and ends True Sight. If she performs a jump or mid-air attack during True Sight, she uses True Sight Charge, transforming into a phoenix and dashing toward the enemy, dealing fusion damage and ending True Sight. For her basic attacks, Changli performs up to 4 consecutive attacks dealing fusion damage. After her 4th basic attack, she enters True Sight for 12 seconds. She also has a mid-air attack that consumes stamina, allowing her to perform up to 4 consecutive mid-air attacks. Completing her 4th mid-air attack enters her into True Sight for 12 seconds. Her heavy attack makes her lunge forward with a rising upward strike, dealing damage. If she uses a basic attack within a certain time frame after the lunge, she can perform mid-air attack 3, skipping the first 2 mid-air attacks to gain True Sight quicker. Mid-air, her heavy attack allows a plunging attack, and after using True Sight Charge, she can also perform a basic attack within a certain time frame to use basic attack 3, gaining True Sight quicker, similar to her ground heavy attack. Her dodge counter deals fusion damage after a successful dodge. Her intro skill attacks the target and puts her into True Sight for 12 seconds. The outro skill buffs the next character to take the field with 20% fusion damage and 25% resident liberation damage for 10 seconds or until the character leaves the field. Changli's Forte Circuit allows her to hold up to 4 stacks of Inflame. She gains 1 stack whenever she uses a True Sight attack and 4 stacks whenever she uses her Resonance Liberation. Her appearance changes based on the number of stacks she has. At 0 to 1 stack, she looks like this. At 2 stacks, her clothes start burning. At 3 stacks, the black part of her clothes is gone completely, and at 4 stacks, she has a blindfold on. When Changli has all 4 stacks, she can use a heavy attack to consume all stacks and cast Flaming Sacrifice, dealing fusion damage counted as resonance skill damage. She also takes 40% less damage while casting Flaming Sacrifice. Her Resonance Liberation deals fusion damage to nearby enemies and grants her 4 stacks of Inflame. Additionally, she gains Fury Feather, which can be cast mid-air. If Changli uses her Forte Circuit Flaming Sacrifice within 10 seconds of entering Fury Feather, her attack increases by 25% and Fury Feather ends. Next, her inherent skills. Secret Strategist increases her fusion damage by 5% for each stack of Inflame when she uses any True Sight attack. Sweeping Force increases her fusion damage by 20% and ignores 15% of the target's defense when dealing damage if she uses her Forte Circuit or Resonance Liberation. Her minor nodes give her an 8% crit rate and a 12% attack in total. For her skill priority, I recommend her Forte Circuit first, followed by her Resonance Liberation, then her Resonance skill. Leave the basic attacks and intro skill for last. By the way, if you like this content and want to see more, be sure to like the video and subscribe. It really helps. Thanks for the support, and let's get back to the video. If you've saved up a few more polls and are interested in getting her sequences, let's look at them. Her first sequence lets her resonance skill and forte circuit increase Changli's damage by 10% and resistance to interruption. In her second sequence, Inflame increases Changli's crit rate by 25% for 8 seconds, which is really good as it pretty much has 100% uptime. Her S3 increases her liberation damage by 80%, and her S4 increases all party members' attack by 20% for 30 seconds after she casts her intro skill. Her S5 increases Flaming Sacrifice's multiplier by 50%, and its damage dealt is also increased by 50%. Her sequence 6 lets her resonance skill, Resonance Liberation, and Forte Circuit ignore 40% of the target's defense when dealing damage, which is crazy and allows Changli to shred enemies. I don't think any sequences are needed to clear content in Wuthering Waves, but if you want to go for them, it's up to you. Weapons. For weapons, her best in slot is her signature Blazing Brilliant Eye, which gives a lot of crit damage from its substat. Its passive grants her attack percent and skill damage bonus, making it perfect for Changli. The standard 5-star weapon Emerald Genesis is also a good option as it provides crit rate from its substat, Energy Regen, and stacking attack percent. If you don't have the 5-star weapons, you can use the Battle Pass weapon Looming Glass or other 4-star options like the Commando of Conviction and Lunar Cutter. If you're unfortunate enough to have none of these options, you can use a 3-star Sword of Night to get you started. For echoes, Changli wants the 5-set Molten Rift, which increases fusion damage by 10% and additionally increases damage by 30% for 15 seconds after using a resonance skill at 5 pieces. For echo costs, you want 4, 3, 3, 1. For the main echo and 4 cost, you want Infernal Rider with a crit rate or crit damage main stat, depending on what you need. It allows you to transform into Infernal Rider, dealing up to 3 consecutive strikes. After the third hit, it grants 12% fusion damage and a basic attack damage buff for 15 seconds. For 3 costs, you want 2 fusion damage main stats, and for 1 cost, you want 2 attack percent main stats. For substats, aim for crit rate, crit damage first, followed by around 130 to 140%, then attack percent, and lastly, flat attack and resonance skill damage. If you want to try a more supportive build, you can use the 5-piece Monocloud set, running Impermanence Heron with the same main and substats. For teams, here are some teammates that could work well with her, ordered from more synergy on the left to less synergy on the right. Chi-Sha is a great choice as she can make full use of Changli's outro skill as a main DPS, buffing fusion damage and liberation damage. Encore is also a solid option as she benefits from Changli's fusion damage buff. Mortify can make use of resonance liberation damage and fusion damage buffs. Taochi works as a support for Changli by providing a shield and resonance skill damage deepen, which is great since most of her damage is skill damage. Yinlin provides great off-field damage and a resonance liberation damage deepen. Sona offers quick rotations dealing damage and basic attack deepen, which is useful since Changli uses quite a few basic attacks in her rotation. For the third slot, Vina is an obvious choice as she is the best support, granting the team tons of buffs. You can also use Jan Chin for grouping, shielding, healing, and a resonance liberation damage deepen. Bai works too, providing similar buffs to Vina. Mix and match depending on who you have or want to use. That's it. Let me know what you think about Changli and how many pulls you have saved up for her. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.